can't get away from the noise.
I know.
It's unbelievable. It's like no matter where we go. We look at our schedule.
Yeah, they know that.
All right.
All right, guys. Go ahead. First question.
Marcus Gilchrist's versatility is clear. It has been throughout his career. What does he provide as a nickel corner?
He's really playing safety and nickel corner for us. He's a veteran guy, seen a lot of football, smart guy, picked up the playbook in no time. So he gives us a piece so we can move around some. So he was a good pickup for us for sure.
What does having Derrick Johnson in the middle, this defense do for you guys in terms of having a guy who's done it as long as he has and in terms of leadership?
He's just a guy that's played a lot. Again, played a lot of football, seen just about everything there is to see in this league. And he's just coming in here and learning our system. He's picked it up real quick. He's able to get us in and out of defenses. So when you're at that point, the guy's been here for what, 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks now, and he's able to really understand what we're trying to get to. So to have a veteran piece that can kind of control the show out there is a big important part for me.
Would you say that the system you're installing is complicated or one that's easier for the guys to pick up and go with?
I wouldn't say it's complicated. I think we teach concepts and techniques, and there's a lot of things that will mix up within those techniques and concepts. So it's if you understand this concept, it'll carry over to a different defense, whether it be a blitz or a coverage or a front, whatever it is. If they understand those concepts, it makes us a lot more multiple with everything we're doing.
By other coaches around the league, just about how aggressive your front is schematically. What would you say differentiates your defense from maybe some others?
Just maybe the looks that we may be able to give, the matchups we're trying to get to. It is a matchup league, whether it be a receiver in a corner, a tight end, and a safety. It could be a 3 technique on a guard. So, those type of things we've been able to do over the course of time. And these guys, they're really starting to understand, hey, this is what we're trying to get to. And when we're in the meetings, don't just say, yeah, coach. Say, and I'm trying to explain to you why we're calling these calls, in what situations, why we're calling these different things. So the guys have really the whole group's been a sponge with everything we're doing.
I'd like to install that defense when now you have so many more veterans than you guys had when you were first looking at your roster in January.
Well, it is, and it's guys from a lot of different systems. So at some point of it, not only with the coaches who are going through it the first time as a new staff, you get it with the players. So it's important that we're all talking the same language. So we've been through this probably 3 or 4 times before the players came in there. I'd get them on the board and make sure we're all on the same page so there's no gray area. And just to have some guys from different systems, you may have some things that may have some carryover. Hey, you all called it like this, and say Kansas City or Houston, this is really what it means here. So it's been the carryover's been really seamless.
How much catching up then is Khalil going to have to do when he shows up?
Well, Paulie's going to have a lot of catching up to do, so we're going to have a plan for that for sure. But really, I'm really concerned about the guys that are here now working. So this guy's been busting their tails every day, coming in early, meeting with the coaches, being great in meeting rooms, communicating on the field. We did a lot of 1-minute situations today, so it was really good to see.
What's been the challenge, if at all, for you to sort of teach your system and for you and your coaches when you do have a player who's supposed to be such a prominent piece of it who hasn't been here? Has it been a challenge for you?
No, not really, because like I said, I'm trying to get the guys here that are better. These guys have been busting their tails, trying to get better, trying to make the team. And there's some guys out there that I really think that have a lot of uncovered ability, really, and we're trying to get it out of them to understand, hey, you may not be a 60-snap-a-game guy. You may be a 15-snap-a-game guy and do the best job in the role and how you can help us win.
How does having guys here who've been in your defense before help in terms of the other guys learn it and be able to maybe translate some things for them and do that?
It helps. It helps for sure because, again, there may be something that comes up on the practice field where it's happened before. This guy's been with me. They can kind of explain it to them. In the meeting rooms, those things. So it's been good to have those kind of guys around.
What did you know about and how much contact did you ever had with Bruce Irvin before you got here, and what have you learned about him since you've been here?
Well, I went and worked him out at West Virginia, and I had a good visit with him. So it was an impressive workout, and I was trying to, in Cincinnati, really try to push to draft him, but he went 15th before us to Seattle. And just coming out of college, I know he was a really gifted rusher, good guy, ran fast in 40, really good athlete. So I think that, just coming here, I thought his best asset for us was to go forward rather than go backwards. So he's done a good job with what we're asking him to do in the base fronts. Obviously, we know he can do as a pass rusher. And hopefully, we can get him over a double-digit mark this year. That's a goal for him.
A lot was made of improving interior pass rush.
Yep.
Guys, what are the impressions of the 2 rookies that you've got that you added?
I mean, I think these guys are going to, when you've been in it long enough, you kind of know, even in shorts, what it's supposed to look like. And I think both those young guys are really coming along. Obviously, Maurice is probably a little bit ahead of PJ because PJ came from a small program. But this past week, I've seen PJ make great strides in the things he's doing. Maurice is going to be he's played in there. PJ played some men and some nose, so there's some versatility in there. But those guys have done a really good job of picking up. Arden the same way. So we got 3 guys out of this draft that I think are going to really help us.
What progress have you seen Conley make these past couple of weeks and months?
He's doing good. Well, most importantly, he's out there, and he's doing good. He's really understanding the little details of everything, the press techniques that we're teaching. Some of the different coverages that we have a lot of different coverages in now, so he's done a really good job for us.
Obi coming along, we saw him out there a little bit.
Obi?
Yeah.
Again, same thing. It's good to have him out there. I mean, there's guys fighting for jobs, and you can't at this point in time when everything's new. I'm new here, so I like I told him, I don't care what happened here in the past. It's hey, I'm going to keep the best 22, 23 guys that are here that I think can help us win. But again, he's out there, he's starting to work, which is good to see because he needs to. He needs to be out there playing, not in a training room. So it's good to see he's back out there.
What have you seen so far from Gary on a little bit more on him, and what do you hope to see over the course of this offseason?
We're pretty much done the installation of the defense for the most part. So just to clean up the little details and the footwork and all those type of things. And, what I typically do is I'll take all the film from what we had in the spring, and usually I'll write them little notes in between practices or whatever. But usually I'll give them a little write-up when they come back here for training camp. These are the things that, moving forward, I think you need to work on. So like I said, he's doing a really good job. I don't have any problems with what he's doing right now.
A lot of batted passes out there, a couple interceptions today. You've touched on Garyon, Gilchrist. What's been your impression of the DBs as a whole and just with the impact they're making on the defensive side?
I just think, we're getting, if you were at practice yesterday, we dropped about 5 picks yesterday. So, we made a big emphasis to turning the ball over. Obviously, it's a big part of what we talk about in our meeting rooms, turning the ball over, getting it back to our offense. And, we've had some opportunities, and you see the guys are getting excited about it. So it's good to see that, they're all running down there, chasing the guy after he intercepts the ball. So it's been good. We've got our hands on a lot of balls. We just got to catch more of them.
In the middle of your defense, Tyre has been really vocal. He's making a lot of plays up in the middle in the run.
Yep.
What have you been seeing from him, and just how's he, kind of mentoring some of the younger guys on the team too?
Again, so he's in the same boat. So, you have a lot of these older guys that nobody was in the system except for a handful of guys really in the past. So in the beginning, he was just trying to learn it on his own, and now he's starting to get it. He's starting to see the bigger picture. And when we explain to these guys, you have 3 phases of the OTAs. OTA 1, I do all the installing. OTA 2, I start all over again. And then in OTA 3, I get them to come and put them on the board and say, okay, hey, Tahir, this you're the will linebacker. You get this happens to you. What are you going to do? So the defensive end hears it in front of him, the 3 technique, the safety's behind him, so he can see the big picture. We all can see how it fits together. So I think he's really starting to see the big picture now as we start moving forward.
A lot of the players that have been up have talked about how these practices kind of make them think on the fly. I mean, you may have a plan going in and how you're going to do something in practice, and all of a sudden John will say, no, we're going to do this.
Right.
How beneficial has that been for you and beneficial in terms of all the shifts and stuff they're doing on offense is way more than they've done here in the last couple of years. How beneficial is that to see that every day in practice?
It's great. It's great. I think I was telling John the other day, I think he must have looked at our defense and known every route that beats the coverage. So because we've seen, over the course, when you're in the defense enough, hey, in this coverage, this is the snake in this coverage or that coverage, and we've seen a lot of these snakes out on the field. So it's great to get that on the practice field because you may only have one that comes up on Sunday or for that week or 2 that may come up before the game that you have to handle. And really, we're handling that right now in May and June is great.
You used to work with Jay, now you're working with John. How are they different? How are they similar?
I think they're really both love football, good football coaches, smart offensive minds, good motivators. So I think, they're very similar that way.
Is there a balance at all as a coach to wanting to make your players uncomfortable, but also to make sure they have their feet under them at this point in the offseason?
Yeah, you never want to make them feel too comfortable, but you want to say, hey, this is where we messed up, and this is what we did really good. And every day, before I start the meeting of the install, I'll show them, hey, these are the good plays, these are the bad plays we have to clean up. So just to keep them working. So, I want them to feel comfortable in the system, but at the same time, there's more to get to. and we have to get to that step before we get to where I think we need to be.
For free agency, was Eric Reed a guy that you looked at all? Did you consider him as a starter, an NFL starter? Or?
I did not look at him. I felt good about our safety position, and I really didn't study him much.
What role do you see Tank Carradine playing here?
Tank's been a great surprise for us. I think he's a great fit for our system. You know, he's playing base end on first or second down. He's moving inside in the pass rush. He's real smart. He knows what to do. He's understanding the defense, and he's a strong son of a gun in there. So he's really going to help us out a lot.
Nick Morrow came here last year. He's like D3 guy.
Love
playing in front
D3
of
guys.
75, playing like in front of 75 or 100
Yeah.
people in the stands, and the next he makes the team, and now he's got to go at a whole new system this year. What have been your observations of him?
He's been great. You know, he's like I said, I really don't care where you played at. You know, played D3, Division I, doesn't matter. It's what you do when you're here and what you earn when you're here. So he's done a good job with everything we're asking him to do to this point, and I think he'll push for some time for sure.
Speaking of small school guys, Paul, James Cowser seems like he's seeing more time in the middle rather than being out on the edge, being a rusher. What are you seeing from him so far in that transition?
Yeah, we know last year he did a lot in the rush. So, you know, we're trying to make him a linebacker so he can be utilized on all downs, not just maybe in the pass rush. So just trying to teach him that positions, to give him a chance to get his feet wet in the middle where he can make he's smart, he can make some of the calls for us. And he's done a good job. He's asked great questions, and he's an intelligent player.
Brown seems to be flashing. He had a strong practice today, not his first. What has he shown?
He's another good fit for us. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", 280, 275 pounds, and he's a good rusher. He can play the run. He's been real active in there. He's learning the defense, just the technique and the footwork of everything we're asking him to do. So he's going to surprise some people, I think, this year.
He surprised you so far?
No, I mean, I just, like I said, before I took the job, I watched a lot of the games from a year ago, and when I got here, I watched some of the practices, and you could see, I watched some of the practices in training camp in the middle of the season, at the end of camp, just to kind of see and gauge what was going on here, and you could see his effort on the practice field was evident. So, when he walked in here, I was like, this guy's ideally the right size for what we're looking for, and he's been getting better every day.
Back to Hurst. Why is he such a good fit for your defense? And what was your reaction when you were sliding down the draft board on draft day? What was going through your mind when that was happening?
I was saying draft him right here. I mean, when you look at these players in the draft, you have an eye for what you're looking for from the nose, the three technique, the ends, the middle linebacker, corners, whatever it may be. And when you watch him play at Michigan, he had certain traits for a three technique in our defense. And when he started to slide, and he was there for us to pick in the fifth round, I couldn't believe it really. And he's got great get off. He can penetrate the three techniques, the penetrator of our defense. So he does a great job with that. He's going to have to learn, big man's game a little bit, where you don't get the double teams as much in college. You're going to get a lot more of that in the NFL. And obviously in the pass rush, he's slippery in the pass rush. He's got good side to side movement. He's a powerful guy.
I know that this is all voluntary so far. Have you guys been notified one way or the other about whether or not Khalil Mack will be here next week?
No, I have not. He'll have to work that out. And like I said, I don't get involved too much with that. I coach the guys that are here.
Is there anything else? Okay.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Reggie, there's been no shortage of youth, certainly last year, on this defense. This year, this offseason, a lot more veterans were added. What's the difference in practice here in June, just directing a defense in the back end with so much experience in front of you now?
What are you asking me? Like
There's a lot more experience.
a lot more experience?
Surrounding this part of this defense.
I mean, it was a lot of experience last year. I mean, we got a good group of veterans that coach surrounded the young guys with, and I think they responded to us pretty well, and just going out there and just practicing hard, to be honest with you. It don't matter who out there. We got a bunch of leaders. You got young guys as leaders that's coming up now. So, I mean, just taking it in stride right now.
What does Derrick Johnson have at linebacker?
What do you add? I mean, just experience. You just said veteran. I mean, it's a lot of young guys in that room that can learn something from him, and I think he just brings a lot to the game from what he's been doing in his career.
You've been through a million of these things, but is there anything that jumps out at you about this one, about the vibe of the team and the new coaching staff, or is there anything that, you know, because you've seen so many different teams and so many different camps, I'm just curious as to what jumps out at you about this team.
About this team? I mean, we just enjoying the process. I mean, I think the defense buying in, everybody's buying in. I mean, for it to be a whole new coaching staff, I think we picking up the defense pretty well for everything to be new. I think all the guys, Conley, Melvin, I think a lot of us just been gelling together and just picking it up pretty good. I'm pretty glad about that. You know, not glad, but, you know, we haven't had any big MEs or anything like that. So, I mean, that just says a lot about our coaching staff that been putting in the work and getting us prepared for all this.
Experience playing in this defense, how much are guys leaning on you in terms of just?
I mean, everybody leaning on everybody. I mean, I've been out the defense for a while, so I mean, it's pretty fairly new to me, just like it's new to the rest of the guys. I mean, it's coming back slowly, but I mean, like I said, it's a great group of guys out there, and you know, everybody buying in and getting the job done.
What do you like about this style of defense?
I mean, I've been in defense for like 6 years. You can't ask me that. You can ask someone. I mean, I love the defense. I had a lot of success in the defense, so of course I'm gonna love it. You know, regardless.
How much of a factor then, Reggie, was Paul Guenther bringing that defense here and your familiarity with it to you coming back?
I mean, I'd say it was a you know, 100% that, you know, if he asked me if it presented itself, I would have came back because I played in the defense. So, I mean, it was just, you know, it worked out in a favor for me to be a part of this team, this organization again. I mean, compared to, you know, the situation last year. So, I mean, I'm enjoying the process, man, to be honest with you. Out there competing every day just like with everybody else.
In the last year, like you seemed like you were going to come back. It seemed like you were pretty much saying goodbye towards the end of the year.
I mean, I'm enjoying the process, man. Like I said, I'm competing, man. I'm happy to be here.
I'm sure it's great to see Garyon just be able to practice consistently. You saw the player that he is when he's healthy. What does he look to you, year two? What has stood out from him?
Oh, man, I'm happy to see Conley out there running around. I mean, if a player is caliber long, just like Melvin. I mean, he's showing why he was the first-round pick, and, you know, I think it's a high standard out there for him right now, and he's holding that up. So I think Conley's doing a great job right now, doing what the coaches asked him to do.
Anything in particular that's really stood out to you?
I mean, he just got tight coverage. I mean, great little athlete. He gonna be great in this game. He'll keep learning and playing ball.
So Reggie, what's been your impression on working with Nick Nelson so far?
With who?
Nelson?
Have you been out there?
No.
Right. So I'm not working with him right now. I hope he get out there so I can work with him. I mean, right now he with H-Rod them, so you got to ask H-Rod them.
Couple more guys. Obi got involved more today with the team drills. I'm sure it's been a frustrating process for him not being out on the field as much. What have you seen out of him, the work that he's been putting in to try to get out there and try to contribute?
I think Obi working out, you know, all his kinks and stuff right now. And like I say, I always been a fan of Obi, his size and how athletic he is and what he bring to the table when he's healthy and stuff. So I just can't wait to see more out of Obi. I mean, he's flying around doing a good job competing like everybody else. And, you know, I think Obi going to be one of those shockings because I like him. He's a great athletic guy, tall, you know, just his body built, period. He can be, only he can stand in his way, to be honest with you.
Anything else, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a lot more than I'm used to seeing.
All right, guys, questions?
When we first talked to you, you were, I think, referring to some of the linebackers by number. Have you learned everyone's name, I guess, and how have those first few weeks and months been for you?
I have learned everybody's name now. Emmanuel is a person I'm really getting even closer with. Tahir Whitehead is, those are veteran guys, both 7-year guys, and me being a 14-year guy, so I cling to them a little bit more. But a lot of young, talented players on this defense and this team, and it's exciting. It's my first time not being around new players, of course, being in KC for that long, but just being in an atmosphere that's very new to me. Just facility, coaches, everybody, but. The Raiders have really taken me in, taken a young man, I would say, in and with open arms, and it's going good right now.
How quickly do you feel like you've been able to pick up the defense, and what are your impressions of this game so far?
Man, Paul Guenther's defense it's very aggressive. So many different looks. Now, the onus is really on the linebackers to learn a lot of stuff, so that's good for myself because I know a lot, but it's putting a lot of pressure on me to learn it quickly, learn it well enough where I can put my own flavor into making plays on this defense. But I'm having fun with it now. And the last couple of days been my best days running around. And I was telling the young guys, is once you get the system down, because everybody's learning a new system, everybody's in it.